On today's Myth of the Apes, having seen Todd's 3D printer, now I'm wondering in Batman Begins how many cows he had to print out 3D and smash.
Divine bomb. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a gentleman. Where there is fire, there is smoke. Now, fight the Apes! A minute of Apes. A minute of the Apes. A minute of the Apes. A minute of the Apes. Yeah!
Hello and welcome to Myth of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time. I am Todd. Sitting across from me with his flowing red locks is Richard, who's been quiet to this point. We'll get to you in a minute, okay? So you just sit tight, pretty boy. But Sean,
Hush
actually,
your pretty mouth.
It's funny that you said what you said because, so I got a 3D printer for Christmas. I printed out one of the things that I want. I wanted a life-size cowl from the Batman. And I found a very high res model. If you pick that up, it actually you can see the stitching and everything on it. It's a lot of stuff. I showed Sean I had a fail, and anybody that has done 3D printing, you'll know that it could be the whole thing is just perfect.
You can feel it. Run your finger over that. You can feel like.
Oh wow! Yeah.
The detail, and it's with resin. That's totally different. When you print with filament, you don't get as fine a detail. But the long story short, that one little piece off to the side had a slight fail. And it's funny, Sean, because I know, isn't it crazy? It really is life size.
That's cool.
Richard's he almost looks like Phantom of the Opera with like half of it on his head. Phantom of the Batman.
We are crazy.
It's
the white beard makes it look a little crazy.
I need my eye makeup. Hang on.
We are nerds. Anyway, I thought that too, Sean. Whenever I looked and I saw it, I thought, I want to be Christian Bale right now, just smashing this, because all of it's perfect except that one little part didn't have a support and it failed. So I got to do it again.
You got your next TikTok video.
I always wondered about that scene though in Batman Begins. They showed him smashing and they said we got to order like 100,000 of these or something. What was the purpose of that? I mean, you think at some point you're going to come back to it and he's going to get hit and the cow is going to break or fracture or something like that. But it just feels weird that everything else, they show the wings shoot and how it works and how that all comes through and the grappling hook and all that. But the helmet, they show it smashing and never comes back to that. It's just weird.
I've thought that too. I watched that moment, and it's the reason that I like the Pattinson one better in that regard, because it looks like he made it himself.
And that's been beat up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one did they smash the cowl in?
Batman Begins, the first Christian Bale.
When they're building the suit, basically.
Oh man, it's been so long since I've watched that. I don't remember that at all.
I quote that movie to Abby all the time. The whole "Why do we fall down so we can learn to pick ourselves up?" Because it's a great parenting tool, right? But now I just watched Pattinson that was on last night, and I was like,
I quit that movie.
My Batman. That's what I like.
That's your Batman.
I quit that movie to JJ every time she wants me to do something physical because she does all that CrossFit, and I go, "What's the purpose of you doing all those bloody push-ups if you can't move a bloody beam?"
There you go. And we're also, I will tell you, we are against that. I don't know if the board we're using is deciding to die or if it just had a brief little heart murmur crap. We'll hope it'll hold together.
All right, don't touch it.
Here we, trust me, I mixed all the way through the open. I was like, oh, Jesus, it's kind of working right now. So we love you, board. We love you. Why don't we talk about apes? Because you know what? We're almost at the end of this movie.
All right.
And I think we're all happy to be where we are, right?
Lord.
4 more weeks. 4 more weeks.
You know, the thing is, I started off saying this movie wasn't that bad, and I'm in it now, and it's just not good, and I feel awful talking to our audience about the fact that I'm just not enjoying this. Like, if I could just go and maybe slightly medicated and just be numb, I might actually enjoy it again. But now that I'm breaking it down, I'm like, oh.
Maybe it's like having a second kid. You know what the pain's going to be like before you do it. During it, you're in a whole lot of pain. Afterwards, you're like, oh, maybe that wasn't so bad.
Yeah, I'll probably walk away from this experience thinking that this wasn't that bad. But right now that I'm in it trying to break it down, I'm like,
I'm pretty sure I'm going to have PTSD from this movie for a very long time.
I've been dragging my feet. We're trying to watch these minutes, getting ready for these. Every time we meet together, like I don't know that I'm going to do this.
I told Shelley last night when I was looking at him, I was like, I think that I may not watch these minutes and I may just do it on the fly because I don't know that I can find much more to say about it.
We're almost at the end. We're almost at the end. You know,
I got to thinking about that. You know, what this movie really shows me is how, you know, the original movie was so grand and so well done for its time. Then they learned how to make a franchise, and we see the evolution of what would become Marvel and Star Wars and all that. This one, I just don't see anything outside of that. It constantly makes me excited to go to these last
new ones,
the new three, because it's modern filmmaking taking those beautiful ideas that we had before and actually executing on it.
When we first started this movie, and we're at the beginning, and we're in the what's the name of this ship? Oberon, and Leo's there, and we're trying to figure out exactly why he's there and what they're doing. We're kind of breaking down that stuff. That was interesting to me, right?
Yeah.
What's happening back at home? The script said this was going on, but he didn't give us any of that, and he's, you know, watching his friends have a party as they get engaged. I'm like, okay, we can kind of speculate what's going. Now that we're here at the end, we're just waiting for the resolution.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the payoff and the resolution of what this is going to bring to us.
Right.
I'm just not looking forward to it.
I think that I'm dreading it, and I think that's where my joke of the PTSD, because we all know the twist that's going to come in this, and the more that we break this down moment by moment, the more I'm like, they've not done anything to set up what that is coming to, what that's going to be. It is a twist for twist's sake, so... Okay, I think we've killed that.
Yeah, let's get this over.
Sean, minute 101, tell us what's going on.
All right, we're going to start minute 101 with Davidson surviving the fall and ends with Ari, Estella, and that fucking kid looking for Davidson.
That fucking kid. Here we come, minute 101. Tim Burton, Planet of the Apes.
As of minute 101, we have an Oberon's worth of apes and humans, 2 displaced pods worth of humans and apes, so many wild humans in Ape City minus 2 gorillas, and a pod has arrived as a battle pauses.
All right, here we go visually. We have a lot of leaping as Leo falls down to the sand. We get a really bizarre cut of Thade jumping off of the ruined structure of the Oberon, and for once, I actually like the lighting in the background. That beam of light, that shaft of light that comes behind him is pretty cool. He jumps down. We get a couple more things. He runs around. Leo rolls on the sand. Thade jumps. You're going to see a theme. There's a lot of jumping, hitting, and rolling. Thade comes over, beats Leo, beats him a little bit more. Leo shrieks. Pericles jumps in on Thade's back. They toss Pericles aside. Is that a real monkey they throw?
We'll get to that.
I want to put that out there because it's like, damn, you can't put that. With no animals were harmed in making this movie. That's a real monkey. Anyway, Leo runs down. He finds the gun because, you know, he has superpowers where he just immediately runs to that. They jumps in. Leo does a lot of swinging around. Finally shoots him again. Knocks away some of his armor. And once again, Leo just happens to perfectly see the gun. They have a little bit of back and forth as they jump around. They gets the gun. And what is probably my favorite moment of the minute, they grabs the gun incorrectly. It's pointing upward instead of holding it by the grip itself. And then we have our intrepid group of other apes and whatnot saunter in past the opening and towards the ruckus. So here we go. We have a lot of jumping.
It was not a bad
No.
stage sequence of fight events. It was not, you know, it was choreographed well,
Right.
in my mind, shot well the way that it was done.
Mm-hmm.
I found the aerial flip that they did unnecessary.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird. He leaps down, and then when he wants to get to Leo back on the ground, he leaps up, and then does an aerial flip in the air.
I did-
for no reason whatsoever.
I did have a note of, well, somebody went to gymnastics.
Well, I know.
class today.
I thought it was
Somebody
just
showing
a
off.
weird choice
Well,
to
it
throw
also,
in there.
what the flip he does where he lands on Davidson almost looks like a wrestling move. Like somebody's on the top rope and they're doing a backflip to land on somebody, and now I'm going to start hitting him and all that.
I know it was absurd. It was unnecessary. We know how these apes leap. We already talked about the fact that they have these unnatural, jumping
Almost
off a
weightless,
springboard.
yeah.
The latest spring. So throwing in this weird random flip was unnecessary.
I think with that very moment too is that's the weird cut I talked about. Was let me find it exactly. You get a close up of Thade
at 8 seconds, yeah.
7, 8
Yeah, yeah.
seconds. So he leans down out of frame, pops back into frame. Then we get the leap, and it almost makes it look like he's springboarding. And I thought that was completely unnecessary. The fluidity of down and then cut to the wide would have worked better.
That's supposed to give you the impression that it's actually the actor doing the flip, because it's kind of like do you know what a cowboy switch is?
I do, but
so that's kind of like, but they did it wrong because they did a cut and then instead of doing a true cowboy switch.
Well, and it's the up and down.
Yeah.
If you just went down and then cut, because he
Oh,
is
yeah,
going
yeah.
up and down.
Yeah.
You could have done. It's the same cut. I
Yeah.
was like, it looks like he's on the end of the high dive board at the
bouncing.
kiddie swimming pool and gonna jump in.
for what I thought was kind of a nicely cut fight moment. It was
Yeah.
just was weird. So he comes down, he starts wailing on Leo.
And that Oberon thing that shakes a lot when he.
When he
I
bounces
do
off
like that
Did it
shaking.
move around?
It does. I
Yeah.
do like that. That's
Then
kinda
Thade starts wailing on Leo, and I love that Pericles pops in. I mean, it was nice to actually see this. What up to this point has largely been a prop in this movie actually do something.
Although that begs the question, where did Pericles go? Because they were chasing
what I thought,
Pericles
too.
in there, and then all of a sudden they're in a fight, and Pericles. I mean, they should have had a little shot of Pericles somewhere
I
up
thought that
in a corner.
overlooking everything,
watching
like
everything.
watching his friend.
It doesn't even have to be like an over the shoulder. You can just see him off in the distance, a little white blob or
I
something.
would have liked to seen the over shoulder. I would have liked to seen him engaged. That's my friend. I want to help him. Once again, Chekhov's gun. If I'm going to have that happen, I need to set that up.
We don't know why Pericles is running back into
that Oberon to begin
So
with, yeah.
maybe to your point, if we'd seen him run to his old cage,
Yeah.
and then he sees this fight and comes from the cage, like he was seeking some type of comfort or security.
Right.
It goes to his old cage, sees what's happening, then is compelled to come out. Because otherwise, he's running the Oberon for some unknown reason.
Yeah.
But does Pericles even recognize the Oberon because it's this
It's a
wrought
wrecked
out
up-
shell?
yes, wrecked.
How many movies do we watch like that if had this happen, that have those little sub stories? That's a little bitty story where Pericles is now scared. He runs, maybe gets in his cage because of all the commotion.
Pulls the door
But,
up
then,
or something, yeah.
but then he looks out and he sees his friend. End of story. It's a little bitty moment, but it's a character moment, right? And it seems like with this movie, Burton's just ignoring that. And he does a pretty good job of that. Think of how many, like Edward Scissorhands has
Right.
those moments where we sit back and we watch the reaction to the actions. Man.
Yeah.
But Pericles,
But I do like Pericles jumping in.
Pericles does jump in. We're finally giving him something. And then to your point, what was the throw? Like Thade backhands him and he
heats
goes
him,
flying
yeah.
across
Well, I mean,
the Oberon.
think about this. So Thade can throw two humans through the air. He can punch one into the air. He can beat people to death by himself. But Davidson can take a fall from 20, 30 feet to the ground, not be hurt, have this ape jump on his back, not be hurt, and then get wailed on and not really be hurt, just kind of grimaces. He's like fucking mutant or something.
I guess so. So we get Pericles thrown.
Across the
I think it goes stunt double, doll hits the wall, stunt double rolls.
I
Is
mean,
what I think, because the way the ape spins in the air,
that is definitely
that's
a doll.
wire work. I
That's
think
wire
that's
work,
I
yeah.
think that's a person on a wire because you never see the face. When it hits the wall, I think that's a doll.
I don't know.
But I mean, it didn't look.
And then
doesn't
when it rolls down, that's a little person, stunt person. But again, because the face is always hidden.
Yeah, you're right. The roll has got to be like a stunt person.
Yeah.
For sure. It's not a doll anymore.
Yeah.
It really makes me wonder Because obviously chimpanzees are so intelligent.
Yeah, you
someone
could probably teach them to do a role.
to do some of that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
I mean, do you want to look and see if Pericles stunt double? Because we looked up the young girl, right? It was that boy. Am I wrong?
No.
Right? Yeah.
Sean's looking. I can hear him typing. So Leo finds the gun. Here's where this bothered me, and I would have to go back and watch the moment before the bag with the gun. Did we see it see it fall from him to the ground so that when Leo goes and finds it, just
We see the bag knocked out of his hand.
we do see that in the minute prior. I don't recall
Yeah, we
that.
see the bag knocked out of his hand. I don't know if the gun went with it. I don't remember what happened there. I can go back and look.
I was going to say during the break here, I'm going to pull up minute 100 and look
Well,
at that.
they don't say anything, but there's interesting trivia about it. Jonah, one of the chimps playing Pericles, reportedly attacked Helena Bonham Carter in one incident during filming. The ape movement coach, Terry Notary, spent time on the sets playing the twin chimp cast in the role, learning from them. Tried to picture them both as humans in ape suit. It was like, okay, let's see what he's doing. Well, I never would have expected that. An ape would do that. We can use that. In the first draft of the script in the film, Pericles arrived on the planet sometime earlier, helping Leo to recover from the botched execution attempt by Thade. He's a similar character to Hector from the original novel La Plantas de Singas, or however you say that. But no, it doesn't say anything about.
I just want to hear Sean say however it was he said that.
I ain't speaking no French. I'm American.
Oh, Sean.
Okay, so
I gave a big there in the mic. Sorry about
the
So
when,
the go
when
ahead.
Davidson gets the gun,
that. Yeah.
All right, so he runs. Thade runs after Pericles in the previous shot. Leo is kind of running towards Pericles, but seems to block Thade. The bag goes to the side. Leo grabs the bag, carries it with him into chasing Thade. Thade jumps on him, and the bag falls. And you see Leo grab the gun from the bag right before Thade starts leaping towards him for the second time. So yeah, he brings the bag in with him.
I do realize that because I'm looking at minute 100 also. Here, the last time we physically see the bag, hang on. So we see it at 53 seconds into 100. It's on his arm. He falls back. He's holding on, fighting for dear life. Thade comes up to him, knocks the shit out of him once again. Leo goes flying. Here's my only thing with this. Again, it's little bitty moments. We don't see a tight of the bag falling off by itself.
But the bag is on the ground when Leo runs to go grab the gun from it. He pulls the gun from the bag that's on the ground in front of him.
All I'm saying is, whenever he's up here, I would have loved to seen that bag just
Fly
hit,
off.
so it's a established place. Because when he goes to that bag, I was like, okay. But so Leo, and very, again, if we had established that he's a military guy, the way he holds that gun is very, cocksure.
How does Thade know to hide from the gun to begin with? He's seen a gun, but he's never fired it.
Did he
found
not
the
fire
one
that gun
He found
when-
that one in the pot, but he never he sniffed it and everything because we always thought it'd be funny if he shot himself.
Yeah.
But he never did anything with it. His dad never told him anything about it. He wasn't there when Davidson fired the gun that eventually got broken. So why does he know to hide and to jump away when Davidson pulls the trigger?
It's the jump away.
He should be standing there. Like when he got shot in the shoulder should be the first time. And he goes, what the hell is this? Or
Yeah,
something.
the shot to the shoulder should have been the first moment before he leapt
Before
away.
he hides.
Yeah,
because
agreed.
there's no motivation from his character's point to be hiding from the gun. He doesn't know what it does.
No, and Leo's obviously a shitty shot.
Yeah.
But, here,
Well, no, he got him in the shoulder. I mean, he
Well,
at
the
least,
first one he jumped over.
It's that second one where he's coming right at him. You would hope that he could right
hit
in
him
the chest.
Yeah.
right, something like that. But he hit him. Yeah. To your point, it should have hit him first. They should have got shot first, not knowing what the gun is, then be afraid of the gun after that.
Yeah.
Or that's when he knocks the gun out of his hand or something. This is a gun that also blew a tree in half, right?
Yeah.
But when it hits his armor, he just kind of puts a little hole in it and sniffs it. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's Beskar.
it's Beskar. The finest of Beskar.
So, the thing that I don't like about guns in tight action shots, scenes like this, is they always seem to lose them. and have to run
of
for
course,
them.
yes.
It's just
It's always knocked out of your
it's a
hand.
horrible trope that it's always like, oh, it's just now out of reach, and I
if I
can't
could just
get
reach
it.
a little bit
So
further.
And it gets to one of my least favorite things when you do that it happens to fall into a pool of light. It happens to be exactly where you see it. I'm in this room with all my geek shit, and I will walk in here and be like, where's that thing? And I don't know. That gun just happened to fall right in a place where they can all, because Leo
Right.
looks up and there it is.
Yeah,
It's like, come on.
I need that magic light when I'm trying to find my keys.
No shit.
And it's over there on the. Oh, it's right
always
there.
my wallet. My
Yeah.
wallet is like the
Is that
bane
what
of my, fucking kills me.
Anyway, so the gun gets knocked from his hand. It's off in the distance. You can see it. You've got to run to it or scramble to it. Thade sees it, and then Thade goes right to it. And I love, actually beats Leo, and then he goes right to it. I do love the fact that he doesn't. He picks it up
wrong.
and doesn't know how to
Yes.
do it. He's
Yeah.
like, what do I do? He's holding it by the
barrel.
By the barrel.
There are a lot of things within this sequence that are right. The action, the whatnot, the back and forth. There's no crossing of screen of the lines and things like that. It's all right. And then I love that moment. It's just that the consequences we've set up, like you said, blow a tree in half, yet it only sort of dink.
Yeah, just puts a hole in armor and doesn't hurt him. I mean, like, even if, like, you could see he couldn't use that arm so well anymore, he's favoring it or something. But
Yeah.
no, he just, bullet hit me. Oh, well.
Yeah.
So if you were curious, there's supposed to be a moment prior to this where Thade basically steals the green glow stick from Leo's hands, and
Goes raving.
yeah, and snaps the green glow stick, and nothing happens before the gun comes in. Yeah, it's supposed to be a moment where
He
Thade
thinks it's a weapon
yeah,
or something.
Thade is using the glow stick as a weapon for like 2 seconds.
Well, I'm glad they cut that idea. That's
It was
a really
unnecessary.
bad
It was
idea.
really unnecessary. They
on.
then moved to the gun shortly after that, but it starts off with a confusing moment with the thing.
I do think that they spent their entire lighting budget on this sequence because it's really beautifully lit. Those backlights coming in through the Oberon that we suddenly get, those pools of light in the darkness. Now, they're not as in deep shadow as what you would think when you see those pools of light. But the final thing we get is our group of ding-dongs running in and a nice shaft of light coming in.
Why only them three coming in?
Well,
Why
the
no
other ones
other
are dead.
humans- Well, no other humans are trying to come in. No other apes are coming
yeah,
in to
good
try.
point.
Why just these three? Why only our side coming in?
It's true.
Why are there no other chimps coming in?
Because we conveniently need that.
What you needed to have is, as Thade was running in, and say, "Nobody follow. This is for me to
Right.
do on my own," or something
Right.
like that. I'll take care of this myself.
What
He's
killed
mine.
me in
He's
that
mine.
moment? Have you ever tried to run on a bank of sand like
Oh,
that?
you don't go fast.
They're all running.
you
You
sunk
can,
in
You can
and
tell
tripped.
that there's like a board that they're running on and sand over it. Because if I do that on the dunes, I am falling the fuck down.
You're gonna be on your hands. And
I don't
knees
look
real
as beautiful
fast.
as Estella does running in there right there. Man, that is 22 minutes on a minute that I really thought we might be able to do 10 minutes on. So good job, guys.
We did it.
Anyone got anything else?
That's it for me.
And the countdown to being done with this movie is 1 minute closer. There it is, minute 101. I think that's it. So I will say this. Everyone have a great day.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Come in,